What's going on, people? It's your man the YB back once again. Big shout out to my doggy Trackman87 for coming through and boosting up the coin. So we got another sad light skin story for you, man. Right now, as we know, I did a video yesterday. His Turbulency, I don't know what he on either, but either way, he ordered Anthony Yarde versus Lyndon Arthur 3. What a stinker. It irritates me just hearing that. And also, before that fight was announced, Yarde came out about a month ago, just like, oh man, wooty woo. Everyone wants to see Lyndon Arthur 3, man. Oh man. You want people, Anthony. The only people who want to see that trilogy is you. No one else wants to see it. They don't. I'd tell you if they did. I'm not a hater. If we was all gagging, I'd rather watch you versus Billam Smith. I'm more gagging for that. What's this going to show? It's weird. The guy's weird, man. Anyway, he's now come out again, spitting the same dead, dry bars. Oh, man, cockadoo-loo and, Buatsi, he ducking, and Buatsi's fighting Callum Smith. Buatsi's gone Willie Hutchinson. Callum Smith. Where have you gone? Latvian Deliveroo and Lyndon Arthur. Come on, don't make it make sense, Anthony. Do you know what I'm saying? Listen. I'm all for narratives. If they got to have a little bit of logic in there. Yeah? How could he be ducking? He's not fighting Bummingtons. He's not fighting retired fighters. He's not fighting dudes he already knocked out in 4 rounds. Mate, oh yeah, mate, he don't want the fat man and, cockadoo-loo and wooty-woo. Listen to this guy. Here's the bars. This corny light-skinned neck.
Person, when the fight's made, and now that person's my main attention, that person's got my full focus.
For example?
Nah. He's not in my...
intense. His dreams were... Do you have dreams about fighting? Have you dreamt about fighting Joshua Buatsi, for example?
Nah. He's not in my thought process. Until I'm the kind of person, when the fight's made, and now that person's my main attention, that person's got my full focus. We've seen it, I've asked for this fight, I've wanted this fight, I've tried to get this fight, it hasn't happened, he's taking other options.
He's taking other options.
Only focus right now is the fight that I've got coming up.
Have you got a dream in your mind?
But it is your... Listen, Anthony, this is your problem. You're always just I told you this play. It's the okie doke. It's a Tunde okie doke. Oh, well, we'll just hang around. Not picking the phone up, not answering calls. Oh, man. Buatsi's already said he's not waiting around for other people. And he's not doing that, to be fair. He fought Willie Hutchinson in October, and he's back out in February. What have you done in the last year? The last few years? It's been a minute since Yarde fought anyone. You're the one playing. I'm convinced. And I've seen no evidence of the contrary, to be honest. Especially after your last stinker performance. There's no way Buatsi, chose to fight Callum Smith. Because you stunk the place out, man. Buatsi would have been all over that, right? Buatsi was coming off his best win. You were coming off your biggest stinker ever, went life and death in there. 10-rounder, won even championship rounds. You're telling me Buatsi is what? Choosing to fight someone who's over the hill, Callum Smith, but it's a big question mark. There's no question mark here with Lyndon Arthur, right? Yarde's 2 fights, there have been no question marks. With Willie Hutchinson and Callum Smith, there's question marks. Why would Yarde not want you in there? Makes no difference. To be honest, Callum Smith and Anthony Yarde, they both got smoked by Beterbiev at a similar position, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think Yarde was more competitive, to be fair, but still, who knows what that Beterbiev fight took out of Yarde. He ain't looked the same since, to be honest.
Had about different fights though, or you're in a ring, or it's a nightmare, or it's a dream where you're going to get the great thing, you're lifting everything above your head, your hands are being raised. Have you had it?
I've had daydreams, mainly, but in terms of being fully asleep, I've had
huge platform at this stage of your unusual circumstances, so I can understand
it's just me and my mentality. It don't matter who I'm in the ring with, because again, if I didn't win these fights before today, no one would want to speak to me. As genuinely don't bad. And you've done all these kind of things and you're trying to make up. And I've spoken to Joshua Buatsi personally on the phone and face to face. So again, it was a bit disappointing that he chose to fight somebody else, etc.
He chose to fight somebody else. Was it possible that happened? Listen, let me tell you something now, Anthony. Before the Buatsi fight came out, you were still talking about Yarde. That's what you was doing. Sorry, about Lyndon Arthur. Yeah? And Yarde actually let slip in a minute the truth. Here we go.
You can't say anything about money. I heard him mention like about money because he would have got more money for fighting me. 100%, everyone knows that. For me, for now, my only focus is Lyndon Alpha. In the future, this fight is definitely going to happen, I believe.
You with Buatsi, Conor Ben with Eubank, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. It's one of those fights that...
So I will fight anybody. I've proven that. I've shown that.
He's now talking about potentially being open to the idea, as was Tundi, of going up to cruiserweight. Do you like that for Anthony Yarde?
Anthony Yarde?
Oh, listen. It's like it's frustrating to me that people still question my character. I will fight anybody. I've proven that. I've shown that. As long as the situation becomes right and I believe it's fair, I'm in the ring. I've shown that.
And there you go. That bar there, people. Oh, here we go. One more time.
It's frustrating to me that people still question my character. I will fight anybody. I've proven that. I've shown that. As long as the situation becomes right and I believe it's fair, I'm...
As long as I'll fight anybody. I've proven that. Listen. Yarde. Anthony Yarde, listen. Let me tell you something now. Kovalev, you had to take that fight. It was bumming to no one at that point, right? In fact, you didn't even have a build-up fight before Kovalev. This is your problem. Yarde's problem is, he's either in there with the red-hot side of the world, or he's fighting complete stiffs. There's no middle fights, ever. Lyndon Arthur, you could maybe say is a middle fight. There's no solid, competitive fights. They're complete stiffs on 2 weeks' notice, or it's Beterbiev. He ain't got no resume like that. That's his problem. He's either thrown in the deep end, or he's fighting complete bummingtons in a 50-1 fight. Now, putting that to one side, he says here, he let slip, oh man, whoopty whoop. Oh man, well, I'll fight anybody, I'll fight anybody, but it's got to be, the terms have got to be right. So that's the truth of what happened with Buatsi. You were still butthurt about some moody terms you believe you're entitled to. So you won't fight anybody. Because everyone else is getting deals done, or even Buatsi. Buatsi's getting big fight deals done. Make that make sense. So wait a minute. Buatsi's able to deal with Callum Smith, but he can't make a deal with you. Really? I'd say at this point, Callum Smith is a former world champion. Unified world champion at that. Yarde. Yeah, you'd argue commercially in the UK, Yarde Buatsi's bigger at this point, because Smith's fell off a bit. It's similar though, it's not miles apart. So how was Buatsi able to make a deal with Callum Smith? I didn't hear about no back and forth. I didn't hear about no whoop-de-whoop. Somehow, they got it done. But yet you and Buatsi, you're telling me that Buatsi went diva. And he's the one been having big fights and making deals. No. The narrative's been here. Tunde was wheeled out months ago. Yeah, well, the terms need to be right. We know what we've got. We know we've got the star. That's what it is here. I don't know what... I can't understand what's going on in his head. And part of me is angry that Turkey's even paying him for this rubbish, to be honest. He's probably making a good bag. Alright, let's call it 500 grand. I mean, I'd fight Lyndon Arthur 10 times. Do you know what I mean? If I could get paid 500 grand a pop, you'd see Lyndon Arthur 10. And I believe that's the play here. They're thinking, okay, we fight Buatsi, we maybe get 1.5, 2 mil. Or we can fight Lyndon Arthur, get 400, 500k, and we can make a 10 piece out of it. Yeah? Let's get a KFC 10 bucket going on with Lyndon Arthur. You'll see that for sure. Seriously. No one... People, maybe you're ridiculous. They'll never have 10 fights. They never should have had a third fight. So if a third fight can happen, do not be shocked. In 2028, if we're seeing... Yarde's always, oh man... Callum Smith will let's assume Buatsi beats Callum Smith. And Yarde always does this as well. What Yarde does is, he always plots his fights, not to end when, more or less, when his opponent's fight ends. He likes to do it where they've been out the ring for like 3 months already. So by the time Yarde finishes fighting, in April, end of April, Buatsi would have been out for 2 months already since his fight. Meaning that he's going to have his next fight booked, or more, there'll be talks of his next fight. Yeah? Yarde will win. Let's assume Yarde wins on April 26th. He'll then go missing for a month or two, which means that's 3 or 4 months after Buatsi's fight. At which point, Buatsi's on to the next thing. And Yarde will pop up. Once Yarde hears that Buatsi's about to sign a new fight, Yarde will pop up and say, oh man, I gotta fight this Latvian Deliveroo driver, man. Oh man, you know, the business didn't make sense, and that's what he'll do. That's his career. I've been calling it. I said to you 6 months ago, whatever happens with Yarde, he'll find some excuse to fight a bum. And here we are, 2 bums later, essentially. Lyndon Arthur's retired. No one asking for that fight. I'd rather see him fight Liam Cameron, for example. It's new. There's some somewhat relevance there. Anyway, before I go, the last bar on this topic, which is shocking. Anthony Yarde implies that Beterbiev's ducking him. There we go.
I don't care.
Did he win that first fight in your view? Will he win the second fight?
I did think he won the.
He is digging deep. He is having to find something here. He went soul searching in a couple of those rounds. Don't care what anyone says.
He
I
knows
saw
it as
it,
well.
and he knows it as well. He's going, I wasn't expecting this.
So at this point, they're talking about Yarde versus Beterbiev. And that dude, what's his name? This dude here. Top hand jobber. This guy, whoever's in the studio, this guy here gets his hand out. He's, honestly, if I had to make a grinder parlour, if I had to make a place here, an establishment where men could go to get a good hand job, it'd be him here, man. Because look, you can't see his hand. There's a reason for that. Look at Yarde's face, smiling like this. This dude here got his hand on the table, shaking it off for sure. Just listen to the bars, man. Oh yeah, I don't care what no one says. I saw it in Beterbiev's eyes. He was hanging. You got knocked out. You didn't even knock Beterbiev down. These guys, a bit like AJ and Dubois, people think, landing a good shot, which is almost inevitable in boxing. They proper get, oh man, you landed one good shot, or you had one good flurry in a whole fight, in which you got stopped, which is the case for AJ and Yarde. You both got stopped in that fight. You both didn't score no knockdowns, but you were talking about, YB, it was 50-50 with AJ and Dubois because the right. No, it was just a shot, like any other shot. Same as Beterbiev, to be honest. You can argue, YB, Beterbiev's rock solid, but then again, Callum Johnson put him down, so he's not infallible. Oops. Anyway, let's replay this hand jobbing for you, man.
Myself first. I want the biggest fights out there. That's why I'm in the sport. I want legacy.
You want the biggest fights out there in legacy, Yarde. Listen, Yarde. You're sitting there telling me, as you're signed to fight Lyndon Arthur free, a stinker, if there ever was one of all time. The Ring magazine need to start doing a stinkers of the year. Top 10 stinkers of the year. And I'll head it up, Turkey. You need this. Be edgy for your social media. The YB's top 10 Ring magazine stinkers of the year. And I'll tell you what fights no one wants to see. And this right now, as far as this year is concerned, Yarde versus Lyndon Arthur 3 is, for me, is number 1 right now. It's the fight I look at and think, that is a proper stinker. No one asked for. Seriously, not even, AB, you hating. No, it's dead. No one asked for it. No one wants it. Will I watch it? I mean, I'm going to watch Eubank versus Ben, so I'll watch it by proxy. I'm not going to set an alarm, though, and if I'm cooking dinner, I'm cooking dinner, and it will be a no from me.
And this is why I'm challenging people like Beterbiev. You know, when he's got 100% knockout ratio, he was 18-0 when I fought him, or 17-0, all knockouts. They put his name there forward. I said, absolutely, put me in the ring with him. I don't care.
Did he win that first fight in your view? Will he win the second fight?
I did think he won the first fight, very small margin. I think in the second fight, he actually could stop Bivol if he goes to the body more.
Yeah.
That's just what I believe.
I agree with you. I think that, Bivol's great at controlling that space, but Beterbiev is even better at taking that space away.
Yes.
And you two had fight of the year, man. Like, I'm telling you, I was commentating on that fight, and I was there, and I know, looking into a fighter's eyes, and you're looking at the fighter as he was walking back to the corner after some of those rounds, I'm going, this kid is digging deep. He is digging deep. He is having to find something here. He went soul searching in a couple of those rounds. Don't care what anyone says. I saw it, and he knows it as well. He's going.
Yarde puts it in now. He knows it as well. God, he knocked your ass out. Talking about he knocked your ass out, man. He was proper, and to be honest with you, Tun saved your ass. He was proper gonna do you some harm. I'm talking retirement harm. That's what I think was coming next for Yarde, because he was so tired and beat up. He was blowing and his defense was leaky. Seriously, if you turned out and it pulled you out, you'd have got some proper harm, and you wouldn't be sitting there saying, "Yeah, he knew I pushed him hard." You was food, man. On the record, the history books have it as you was another snack for Beterbiev. Is the truth. These guys get gassed up, man. Way too gassed up. I guess you have to believe that to be a fighter, but Yarde knows in his soul. How do we know he knows in his soul what's up? He's fighting Lyndon Arthur. and Latvian Deliveroo drivers. That's his peacetime. Sorry, peacetime. That's what he does. Oh yes, he feels safe there. It's his comfort zone. He pushed himself twice outside of his comfort zone, and now at 35 years old, he's thinking, actually, I don't really fancy that no more. I'll fight Bummingtons for a living.
I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah.
He was surprised.
Yeah.
He was
I saw
surprised.
a clip as well when he done an interview and they asked him about me and he said he can tell that I prepared very well for that fight.
Yeah.
I asked him for the rematch immediately. We was both in the medic room getting stitches. I had like a little scratch on underneath my eye. He had quite a big scratch on the top of his eye.
did.
We were both getting stitches and then I was...
Oh yeah. I got knocked out and my coach had to save me from getting some proper arm. But you know, we sat in the medical room and his scratch was massive and I had a little nick. Because what? Wait, that makes sense. You got the thing that the mental maths people. If I got stopped by a man, you wouldn't hear no anecdotes about how me and him were in the medical room and I was the one who was looking like the winner. That's what he's implying here. You got stopped. It wasn't like it was a close fight on points and you lost. Things like that. For me, when things go to points and there's visible damage, then you can argue the toss. Once you get your head knocked off and your coach has to save your ass, there's no, oh well, yeah, I had a little scratch and your eye was... You had to have shade. You had these big shades on, man. What are you talking about? Anyway, here's the cringy part from Yarde.
I had like a little scratch on underneath my eye. He had quite a big scratch on the top of his eye.
did.
We were both getting stitches and then I said to his translator, I want the rematch immediately. Like, it was such a good fight, let's get a rematch. He looked up at me and he said, you? No.
Yeah.
Because obviously he was going on to bigger things with becoming undisputed. Congratulations to him as well. But I've been calling for it. I wanted that rematch.
Sometimes you don't want to go over old ground, mate. When they're that tough, trust me, I've had fights like that where you just go, no thanks, mate, I'm done there.
Implying Beterbiev sitting there shitting himself from Yarde. Yeah, you having a laugh, Anthony? Oh, I've been calling for that. Of course you have. He's undisputed. He's got 3 belts. You're another bum he had to go on. It's the truth, right? Anthony Yarde's like every other bum he had to go on and knocked out and stopped. That's the realistic situation here. You can argue Yarde did fight. He did fight well until he didn't, right? Vosdick was actually, the truth is, yeah, Vosdick was actually winning on the cards until he wasn't. You weren't winning on the cards. So what are we doing here? Yeah? Oh yeah, I said to his translator and he looked at me and said, no, not you. He's got big man things to be doing, Anthony. Yeah, well, if I just knock some dude out and his coach had to save his ass, well, I'll be saying no as well. Why? Fight you for what? What you got for me? I already took your soul. Yeah? Anyway, let me know your thoughts. People, smash the like button, subscribe, like off the bell, 100%. No doubt about this one, people. Stop it.